Okay, welcome to my video series, and just to start it off, we're going to be converting grams to moles today. And in case you like this video and want to know more about my company and the help that we offer, you can go to my website at 310Tutoring.com, where you will find awesome people to come help you with your homework. So we have in-home tutoring, and of course main focus for me and my tutors is math and science. Usually that's what I find the most requests for. In addition, we have, as you may have guessed, some online review classes where we have a virtual classroom online, and people can log in and ask whatever questions they need. So you can go to 310tutoring.com. Okay, so for today we are going to focus on converting grams into moles. Okay, which of course is a very popular topic in the subject of chemistry. Okay, so that'll be our focus for this video. Alright, so let us say that we're working with chemistry and we've been given a problem. Sometimes what will happen is the teacher will ask you to convert something from grams into moles. And problems that typically involve this kind of conversion look like this. They'll say, okay, suppose you have 120 grams of sodium hydroxide. And we want to figure out, of course, how many moles that is. Well, in order to solve a problem like this, you're going to need to do a couple of things. One is you're going to need to get your periodic table. Of course, you're going to need your trusty periodic table for most of the math calculations that you do. Okay, so once you have your periodic table, then what you can do is you can figure out what the masses of each of these individual elements are. So if you were to take a look at the periodic table and look at sodium, for example, you'll probably find that sodium has some numbers like 23 and 11. It's important that you look up the mass. Some of the most common mistakes happen when people don't look at the right number. So this 11 here represents the atomic number, which identifies this element as sodium, and the 23 is really what you're after because that is the mass number. So in order to do this problem, we have to figure out the molar mass of sodium hydroxide. So here's sodium, and we know by looking up in the periodic table that it has a mass of 23. Oxygen is just about 16, it's like 15.9996 or something. And hydrogen is approximately a mass of 1. And so if we add all these up, we find that the molar mass of sodium hydroxide is 40 grams per mole. So now we're ready to actually make the conversion from grams to moles because we know exactly what the molar mass of sodium hydroxide is. So now what we can do is we can take our problem, which was 120 grams sodium hydroxide, and we now know that for every 1 mole of sodium hydroxide, we have 40 grams. And then what we need to do is a little bit of math after that. That's the basic setup. And the reason why we put grams in the bottom is because we want to make sure that they cancel and that the units that are left are moles of sodium hydroxide. So the math that we're doing is basically 120 times 1 divided by 40. And if you work this out, you see very quickly that I've skewed the numbers to my favor, and we find that we end up with 3 moles of sodium hydroxide. Okay, so that's it for converting grams into moles. Now I must tell you a couple of things. At the very end of doing your homework, or if you're on a test, it's very important that you box your answer for the teacher to indicate that this is your final answer. And it's also important that you include not just the number, but also the units, because the units are telling you exactly what this number represents. Alright, so again, good luck with your chemistry, and if you need further assistance, like I mentioned earlier, you can always visit me at 310Tutoring.com.